Hello, and welcome to your monthly reading. I'm really glad you're here with me today. This monthly reading is going to be a deep one, so I invite you to take a breath, settle into your space, and allow yourself to be fully present for whatever messages come through for you. In this reading, we're going to walk through the energy of the entire month ahead, touching every major area of your life. We'll look at the overall emotional and spiritual tone of the month, what's unfolding in love and relationships, what's happening around money and career, how your health and energy may be affected, the main challenge to stay aware of, guidance coming directly from spirit, and finally where all of this is leading as the month comes to a close. Before I begin explaining anything in depth, I want you to know how this reading will flow. First, I'm going to pull all of the cards for the month and name them, so you can feel the energy of the spread as a whole. Then, once everything is laid out, I'll move through each card slowly and in detail, explaining not just what it means on the surface, but how it can show up emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and in your everyday life. This is a collective reading, so take what resonates deeply and leave what doesn't. Trust that the messages meant for you will stand out clearly. Nothing is random here. Let's begin. Overall energy of the month. Ace of Cups upright. The Ace of Cups as the overall energy of the month is not subtle. It doesn't whisper. It gently but firmly asks you to feel. This card represents the opening of the heart, but not in a naive or surface-level way. It's about emotional renewal after a period where your heart may have been guarded, tired, disappointed, or stretched thin. This month carries the energy of emotional rebirth. Something inside you is softening again, even if part of you thought that softness was gone for good. On an emotional level, the Ace of Cups shows up as moments where feelings rise unexpectedly. You might find yourself moved by small things, a conversation, a memory, a song, a realization. This isn't emotional overwhelm. This is emotional circulation returning where there may have been numbness or emotional self-protection before. Psychologically, this card suggests that you're beginning to allow yourself to experience life without constantly filtering it through past disappointments. There's a willingness to approach situations with a more open heart, even if there's still some fear attached. The difference now is that fear no longer controls your choices the way it once did. Spiritually, the Ace of Cups is deeply connected to divine love and intuitive flow. It's a reminder that your emotional body is a messenger, not a weakness. This month, your emotions are guiding you back toward alignment. When something feels good, expansive, or nourishing, it's a sign you're on the right path. When something feels heavy or constricting, it's not punishment, it's information. Externally, this energy can show up as new emotional beginnings, new connections, emotional conversations, reconciliations, or even a renewed relationship with yourself. Internally, it may feel like a quiet but powerful shift, where you realize you're ready to receive again, not just give. The shadow side of the Ace of Cups would be ignoring this opening out of fear, pretending you don't feel what you feel, brushing emotions aside to stay in control. But this month doesn't allow that for long. The more you resist feeling, the louder your emotional body becomes. When you embrace this energy, you step into a month that feels emotionally meaningful, even if it's not always easy. This is the kind of month that leaves a mark, because it reconnects you to your heart. Everything else in this reading flows from this emotional opening. Love and relationships. Knight of Cups upright. With the Knight of Cups upright in the love and relationships area, emotions don't just exist, they move. They seek expression. This card is about emotional courage. It's about leading with the heart even when there's risk involved. In love, this energy brings sincerity, romance, vulnerability, and the desire to connect beyond surface-level interactions. If you're single, this card often represents an incoming romantic energy, but more importantly, it represents emotional readiness. You may find yourself more open to love, more hopeful, and more willing to imagine something beautiful again. You may also attract people who are emotionally expressive, poetic, or idealistic. However, the Knight of Cups isn't just about someone else. It can just as easily represent you choosing to express what you feel instead of holding it in. This could look like finally saying what's been on your heart, setting emotional boundaries with compassion, or allowing yourself to desire something without minimizing it. For those in relationships, this card highlights emotional movement. This month encourages heartfelt conversations, emotional gestures, and moments where love feels intentional rather than habitual. It's about remembering why you chose each other, not just coexisting. Emotionally, this card brings sensitivity. You may feel more affected by your partner's words, tone, or actions. This isn't a weakness, it's an invitation to communicate honestly instead of withdrawing or assuming. The shadow side of the Knight of Cups is idealization. Seeing what you want to see instead of what's actually there. Over-romanticizing potential or ignoring red flags in favor of fantasy. This month asks you to balance emotional openness with clarity. Spiritually, this card aligns with emotional authenticity. Love that flows freely but stays grounded in truth. When you express yourself from this place, love becomes a space of connection rather than confusion. This is a month where love wants to be felt, spoken, and honored. Money and career. Seven of Swords reversed. The Seven of Swords reversed brings a very different energy into the reading, and it's an important contrast. This card is about truth, honesty, and course correction. In the area of money and career, it suggests that something is being revealed or acknowledged that may have been avoided before. On a psychological level, this card often points to self-honesty. You may be realizing that a certain path, strategy, or situation no longer aligns with who you are or where you're going. This realization may not be dramatic, but it is significant. Externally, this can show up as conversations that clear the air at work, transparency around finances, or a decision to stop operating in a way that feels inauthentic. If there has been confusion, mixed signals, or a sense of something's off, this month brings clarity. Financially, the Seven of Swords reversed can indicate becoming more aware of where your money is going, where adjustments need to be made, and where you may have been undervaluing yourself. This is a month for ethical choices, honest assessments, and long-term thinking. The shadow expression would be resisting this clarity, avoiding uncomfortable truths or continuing patterns that you already know aren't sustainable. But the reverse position suggests that avoidance is losing its grip. You're ready to face reality, not with fear, but with maturity. Spiritually, this card is about integrity, aligning your actions with your values. When you do this, career and money stop feeling like constant stressors and start feeling like tools that support your life rather than drain it. This month favors honesty over shortcuts, alignment over illusion, and clarity over avoidance. Health and energy. Two of Wands reversed. With the Two of Wands reversed showing up in the area of health and energy, the message here is subtle but important. This card doesn't scream crisis. Instead, it points to a quiet, internal disorientation, a feeling of being unsure where to direct your energy or how to best take care of yourself right now. On an energetic level, this can feel like hesitation or low-grade restlessness. You may notice that you're not fully committing to new routines, habits, or plans, even if you know they would be good for you. It's not because you don't care. It's because part of you feels overwhelmed by choice, expectations, or the pressure to do it right. Emotionally, this card can reflect feeling pulled in multiple directions while lacking a clear sense of motivation. You might want change but feel unsure where to begin, or you may feel like you're standing at a crossroads without enough energy to move forward yet. This can show up as procrastination, fatigue, or a sense of being mentally busy but physically stalled. Physically, the Two of Wands reversed doesn't necessarily indicate illness, but it can point to energy imbalances caused by stress, indecision, or mental overload. When the mind is constantly weighing options or replaying possibilities, the body often responds by slowing down. This is your system asking for clarity, not punishment. The shadow side of this energy is self-criticism, telling yourself you should be doing more, moving faster, or already have answers. That inner pressure only drains you further. This month, pushing harder will not restore your energy. Simplifying will. At its highest expression, this card invites you to pause and reassess without judgment. You don't need a perfect plan for your health and energy this month. You need presence, small choices, gentle direction, listening instead of forcing. Once you stop trying to figure everything out at once, your energy will begin to organize itself naturally. Challenge to watch out for. The Priestess reversed. The Priestess reversed as the main challenge of the month is one of the most significant messages in this entire reading. This card speaks to a temporary disconnect from your inner knowing. Not because your intuition is gone, but because it's being drowned out by noise, doubt, or overthinking. The challenge here is trusting yourself. On an emotional level, this may show up as second-guessing your feelings, wondering if you're being too sensitive, too hopeful, too cautious, or too emotional. You may feel unsure whether to trust what you sense beneath the surface, especially when logic or outside opinions conflict with your inner voice. Mentally, this card can reflect confusion caused by too much input. Advice from others, social expectations, or constant mental stimulation can make it difficult to hear your own thoughts clearly. You may feel like you're searching for answers everywhere except where they actually live. Spiritually, the Priestess reversed can indicate a pause or blockage in intuitive flow, often caused by not making space for stillness. Intuition doesn't shout. It whispers. When life is loud, those whispers are easy to miss. The shadow expression of this card is self-betrayal, ignoring gut feelings, dismissing inner warnings, rationalizing situations that don't feel right. This is the challenge to stay aware of, not because something bad is destined to happen, but because clarity depends on your willingness to listen inward. At its highest expression, this card asks you to reconnect with your inner authority. You don't need permission to trust yourself. You don't need external validation to know what feels right. The more you slow down and create quiet space, the clearer your intuition becomes. This month, your inner voice is your most valuable guide. The challenge is choosing to hear it. Advice from Spirit. Four of Wands upright. The advice from Spirit comes through with warmth, reassurance, and grounding energy in the Four of Wands upright. Spirit is reminding you that stability, joy, and safety are not distant goals. They are states you can cultivate now. This card speaks to creating a sense of home, both internally and externally. Emotionally, this advice encourages you to focus on what makes you feel supported and secure. This could be your physical home, your closest relationships, or simple routines that bring comfort and consistency. Spirit is asking you to anchor yourself in what feels familiar and nourishing. Mentally, the Four of Wands suggests letting yourself acknowledge progress. Even if you're not where you want to be yet, you've come far. Celebrating small wins, moments of peace, and stability helps reinforce a sense of trust in your path. Spiritually, this card represents alignment with your foundation. When your inner and outer worlds feel safe, your intuition flows more freely, your emotions stabilize, and your energy replenishes. You don't need chaos to grow. Growth can happen in calm spaces too. The shadow side of this card would be postponing joy, telling yourself you'll rest, celebrate, or feel safe once everything is figured out. Spirit's advice is clear: don't wait. Create pockets of stability now. This month, grounding yourself in what feels steady allows everything else to fall into place more easily. Likely outcome: the Hanged Man reversed. As the likely outcome of the month, the Hanged Man reversed signals a powerful internal shift followed by movement. This card often appears when a long period of waiting, stagnation, or suspended energy is coming to an end. You may have felt stuck, uncertain, or unable to move forward for some time. By the end of this month, something changes internally that allows momentum to return. Emotionally, this can feel like relief, a realization, a letting go of the need to see things from every angle. You may stop overthinking and start trusting your instincts more, especially after confronting the Priestess reversed earlier in the reading. Mentally, the Hanged Man reversed represents a shift in perspective. You no longer feel the need to stay stuck in contemplation or sacrifice your own needs for clarity. You understand enough to move forward. Externally, this may show up as decisions being made, conversations happening, or actions taken that were previously delayed. Not rushed, but intentional. The shadow expression of this card would be forcing movement before clarity arrives. But the reversed position here suggests readiness. You're not escaping stagnation, you're evolving beyond it. By the end of the month, you are no longer suspended between options. You are choosing. Conclusion. When we step back and look at the full spread, a clear story emerges. This month begins with the heart opening through the Ace of Cups. Emotional honesty becomes the foundation for everything else. Love moves forward with sincerity through the Knight of Cups, while truth and clarity reshape your approach to money and career with the Seven of Swords reversed. Your energy fluctuates as you navigate uncertainty with the Two of Wands reversed, reminding you to slow down and simplify. The Priestess reversed highlights the importance of reconnecting with your intuition, while Spirit's advice through the Four of Wands calls you back to stability, grounding, and inner safety. Finally, the Hanged Man reversed shows that by honoring your emotions, trusting yourself, and creating a solid foundation, you free yourself from stagnation and step into forward movement. This is not a loud, chaotic month. It is a deeply internal one that leads to meaningful change. This month is about coming home to yourself. It asks you to feel instead of numb, to listen instead of doubt, to ground instead of rush. When you do, clarity emerges naturally. Movement follows alignment, not pressure. You are not behind. You are not stuck forever. You are in the process of remembering who you are and what truly matters to you. Trust that process. It's leading you exactly where you need to be. If this reading resonated with you, please take a moment to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who may need to hear this message right now. Your support truly helps this channel grow and allows me to continue bringing you these readings every month. I would also love to hear from you in the comments. Let me know what part of the reading stood out to you the most, or how these energies are showing up in your life. Thank you for being here, for trusting this space, and for sharing your energy with me. I'll see you in the next reading.